Hi, Adiba. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name properly.
Yeah, you are. Hi.
Hi. I never got to meet you yet. I think this is your first time, or were you at the other meeting?
No, this is my first time.
Okay. How's it going? How's life? You're in Alberta, right?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay.
It's going good. A little busy with school.
Have you had any progress with this particular project? I know we've been having trouble scheduling meetings and having
Um,
everyone in one place.
I've done like a little bit of research on my own, and I've been looking into existing AI models. I found one or two, but I'm still looking.
Okay. I put you in charge. I don't know if you're comfortable with that. Again, it was kind of like a reactive thing. Like I needed to figure out who to put in charge.
Yeah, I
And I
can do
think
that.
you're okay to do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
I see you also have like a lot of computer science knowledge and you've already done some programming projects.
Yeah, I'm majoring in computer science, so yeah, I have like 2 years worth of experience.
Okay, awesome. And then we have a couple other people here that have like a lot of certifications and different things. Let me pull up Medha's here. Is that how you say your name? I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly.
Listen.
Medha is also studying mathematics. She's a Bachelor of Science from University of Toronto. She's interested in artificial intelligence. She does some coding work too. She also worked with children, YMCA, and the food bank. I don't know if you guys want to introduce each other to yourselves to each other. I'll do a brief introduction as well, because I don't think we've all formally met in this particular group. So I think that might be a good thing to do today. If everyone joins, I don't know who's not coming. I saw one person wasn't joining us today. I think it was Centauri. Do you guys just want to introduce each other? I'll go first. So my name is Sylvia Kiachik, and I'm still recovering from workplace trauma, and I had some lasting effects after that, such as like I had a strong belief that I was also being cyber stalked by this particular manager that I reported for sexually harassing me at work, um, kind of duplicating my voice and doing all these weird things with things that I would say on my social media accounts, such as LinkedIn. And he would start arguing with people in my circle under fake accounts. And I knew it was him because the tone of voice and the way he was delivering his message was directly opposite of what we were all kind of like building a message of. And I reported his behavior and I sent the reports to Google under word salad because he was just rambling and mixing my words and like making weird things out of it. And then I also reported to the police. The police didn't take it seriously. They thought like I didn't have enough evidence to prove that it was him. And I'd have to go to Google. Google would have to do the research and check his VPN location and all those things. But I know people can mask that. I was checked at the mental ward. I don't have any mental illnesses, so paranoia and anything like that wouldn't really be the case here. Um, so I'm just curious in general what the statistics are of how many times women report things like this to police and nothing is done, and how do we protect women so they're taken seriously and that their concerns are actually addressed and not kind of labeled as paranoia or like mental problems, because that seems to be a huge discrimination that women face still to this day, which is sad. So I'm hoping with all of your expertise and stuff, you can kind of look at it through that lens in whatever areas interest you or you're an expert in or specialized in. And have my arbitration meeting still going on May 12th. We have it scheduled. This has been going on for about 2 years now. And I've been having meetings with the union and meetings with the college to see what could be done of this through my grievance. But I heard that sometimes nothing comes out of it, which is usually and likely the case, but I'm hoping that's not the case here because I've built enough to show them that what they did was wrong, and I hope that they can also see that as well. So I joined Ripen because I thought this would be a topic of interest to students. In case you ever find yourself in my shoes, how would you handle it? What would you do? And how would you protect your safety and the safety of your loved ones? So that's where I'm at today. And we're almost going to be like wrapping up this project. It was really quick. This is the fastest one. The second one goes until April. So this is like a 40-day, 44-day project. So yeah, I had a bit of trouble getting everyone on board with communication and like aligning our schedules. So that's why you might see like a meeting invite from me like the day before, because it's really tricky to kind of get everyone together, and we're on different time zones with people in British Columbia, Alberta, and Ontario. So that's me. I will pass the microphone to Adiba, and then Medha, you can also briefly introduce yourself. I know you already introduced yourself to us in a more intimate setting in the other meetings, and then to myself personally, we had like a one-on-one, which I also encouraged because reference letters are already being requested from some people in the team, and one person has already landed an internship as a result of the reference I provided. So it's always good to build your network professionally and also to get references from the beginning so that you have it and you're prepped and ready. So without further ado, Adiba, if you just want to give us like a brief intro, who you are, what school you're going to, and what interested you in this project particularly.
Hi, I'm a second year computer science student at
Can we
Mount
just
Earl.
get you briefly on camera if you're
Oh, yeah,
comfortable?
sure.
Just
Yeah.
for the intro, and you can turn it off. Can't hear you. Sorry, it's muted.
Okay,
There
is
we go.
everything good now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a second year computer science student at Mount Earl University. And what really interested me about this project was I'm really interested in cybersecurity and I want to get more into it. And I think more as the coding side is also interesting to me, but I really love research. So I found this project to align with both of my interests. And yeah.
Sounds great. Thank you. Thank you for joining and also just showing yourself on camera for a brief second. I appreciate it. I have my assistant here who's recording the meeting, and there's also going to be a video afterwards, which I'll post later and you'll have access to. It's also good to practice your introductions because in the workplace, you're going to have a lot of those. So making sure you make them concise and you represent yourself the way you want to be represented, which will help build your reputation and what's the other word? I fell asleep earlier. I had too much salt in my food. So I'm trying to drink coffee to wake me up, but I'm a bit, I have some brain fog right now. So bear with me. Credit? No. Rapport? Maybe? I don't know. Like it helps to build connections with people because they find something similar in what you've said, and then they kind of bridge off of that, and then you can form a connection that way. So introductions are like the most important part, I would say, when joining a workplace, knowing how to do it and making it like 3 points of who you are, what you're about, and why you're here and what your purpose is. So thank you. Medha?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are
So
you
I'm
okay
kind
to go on camera for a second?
of
Say hello?
yeah. Well, I'm like kind of like walking right now. I'll like sit down and then turn on the camera. But my name is Medha or Medha, however you want to pronounce it. Um, I'm a second year at University of Toronto, and I'm studying like math, applied math, and statistics. Um, I I was interested in the Ripen Level Up project because I just like the topics that were covered, like interested me, like the integration of AI, machine learning, and also like cybersecurity in general, and just protecting women and all of us against cybersecurity threats and everything. Here, wait, I'm gonna turn off my camera real quick. I'm kind of out right
Yeah.
now. But
That's all right.
yeah, yeah. But let's see. Is there anything else? I mean, I was just like interested in the project, and I've like an internship, like more to do. So yeah, that's basically it. But yeah,
All right, thank you. Thanks.
thank you.
So thank you. So in terms of like updates on the project, Adiba said she started doing some research. Have you guys had a chance to like meet as a group and kind of delegate pieces of research to each other, like areas that you feel like there might be a gap or someone should look into further? Has that been a topic, or has it been really difficult to get into communication with everyone?
It's been really hard for everybody to like meet at the same time because I know like we're all university students, classes and whatnot. So I was thinking maybe we could do something virtually where we could just provide the updates and we could see each other's work.
Okay, so I was just talking to Sofia earlier, and we were discussing where to put the weekly project status report. So this would be like an update of like what you're working on, and would be done asynchronously and online. And we were both discussing where's the best place to put it so everyone has access to it. And you can kind of read each other's to see what you guys are working on. And I think we came to the conclusion that the best place to house all of the reports, the weekly status reports, would be in the actual template document. I'll send it in the chat. This can kind of help. You can check what people are working on and if anyone has even entered anything in here. So I see Arya already added hers. If I present this, let's see what happens. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you're just going to add like a tab with your name. You're going to copy the template and then you're going to fill it out for each week. We only have a few more weeks left. So just like summary of work completed, what did you start researching on? Just very brief sentences. Mention any key tasks that you've completed, any outreach efforts to other team members, whether or not it was successful or not, and what type of research you've already conducted. And then number 2 is challenges and roadblocks. So list any issues or challenges you're facing in your research, or maybe even with communication with others, and mention if you need support, or if there's anything that you're missing, if you need a template for research purposes or some guidance, you can mention it in the number 2, challenges and roadblocks. Number 3 is next steps and plan for the upcoming week. So outline what you plan to work on the following week and highlights of any upcoming deadlines or priorities. So if you have exams coming up, you have like a birthday party or a family event, and you're not going to be around, just mention that in number 3. And then number 4, what's your estimated completion status? So are you on track? Is there a risk involved? Like you're not sure if you're going to finish because of some sort of outstanding priority or something else that came up, like an emergency. And if you're blocked entirely, like you don't know what to do next and you need some assistance, so you're going to write that under number 4. And then any additional notes, any feedbacks, observations, or suggestions for the team or myself, you can mention that in number 5. And I was kind of breaking it down in 2 weeks that we have remaining. We don't have that many left. So let's see. I don't know. I have to stop presenting this. I might exit the meeting if I close the sharing of the screen. So I might have to pop back in. No. Okay, we're okay. Good. Where was I? Okay, so we have, today is the 6th of March. Today's my dog's birthday. I have a miniature Australian Shepherd that my grandma purchased me, who currently has dementia. She's in a long-term care facility in Poland, and I just realized it was his birthday today, and I didn't get him anything. But people donated him lots of treats from China that are hopefully going to match his dietary needs because he's on a very strict prescription diet. So we'll see. I'm going to give him some treats once we're done here. But we have March 7th, which is tomorrow. You're going to have to do a report. March 14th is the next one, and then the last one, you have 3 reports left. If you haven't done any reports yet, I strongly recommend you go back. Actually, don't go back. Just compile everything in these last 3, and let's just see what it was that I asked of you guys. I think I added a template for the research portion in case you were lost and you weren't sure what it should look like.
I saw that. That was really helpful.
Was? Okay. I just quickly asked ChatGPT to help me, so I can't take full credit. It was very useful for myself as well, so I'm hoping it helps everyone. So if we could just try to follow this guideline, if you have something outside of the guideline, I'm flexible. You can add it in there. It's not going to be a problem for me. And I'm just going to check what people have started working on. I haven't gotten in contact with Sudere. I'm going to have to reach out to them individually. I've met with Noor, and now I've met with Adiba. Is there someone missing? I feel like there's someone missing. Some people are actually finishing this project on the 16th of March, so they've already started wrapping up and they scheduled their final presentation with me. So that's something also to think about, like what day between the 20th of March and the 31st, if you're ending in that period, if you want to schedule something with me. It doesn't have to be a presentation live. You can pre-record it. You can create a PowerPoint and send it to me. But I just created like an event so they know that that's their final deadline, and then they'll submit. It's like a reminder for them to submit the work. I can also do that for you.
I had a quick question. For the presentation, if we do pre-record it and send it to you, is it okay if we don't show our face? Because I know there's a feature where, along with the PowerPoint, you can hear us.
I don't need to see your faces. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's totally fine. I'm a shy person in general, so for you to see me on camera right now is kind of like a big deal. But I've been trying to get myself more comfortable in doing that because it builds trust in the workplace. If you're working virtually or remotely, like seeing someone's face kind of breaks this barrier of like, in a way, but it's only when you feel comfortable. I'm forcing myself to feel comfortable being on camera. But when I worked at CERT, I only turned on my camera for a brief second to say hello, and then I turned it off because that's where I felt more comfortable. Because a lot of biases I face personally is based on my appearance. So what I look like, the way my eyes are, my face, my skin color. I also have like a nose that's a little bit witch-like. So I've had that comment before by a roommate at McMaster. He drew my nose before I moved in and he said, nice witch nose. He was from Colombia. I don't know what his problem was. He's an engineer for Mazda. And I did not take that with kindness. I took that very harshly. So for me, turning off my camera is like my safety net. Like I don't like to be on camera personally. And my last boss at the startup company forced me to be on camera because she wanted to microanalyze all my emotions, which also was like a huge no-no for me. So after that experience at that startup, I went into CERT. And at CERT, they didn't force me to be on camera, but they also didn't build that trust with me because I would only go on camera occasionally, and they didn't understand why I wasn't comfortable showing my face. And a lot of people that haven't been in my shoes or in my body don't really understand where I'm coming from. But it's like this anxiety I feel when people look at me and judge me based on how I look. So sometimes I like to use different filters where like I filmed myself with Motisha and I was like a pig talking, and we had like a little laugh about that because I was actually more comfortable being in a different filter than in my own body, which sounds weird, my own bodysuit. Because even with like acting and modeling, there's so much judgment. I did that before when I finished university because I couldn't find like a professional job. Most places wouldn't hire me because they said I was too pretty to be taken seriously, even though I'm not that pretty. Like I would never say that to someone. But apparently in that industry, in professional corporate industries, that's how they looked at me. They didn't take me seriously. So it's been a lot of like working on myself to get myself comfortable being on camera, and it's something that I work on every day. But I completely get where you're coming from if that's not something you're comfortable with. So that's why I'll never force you to do it. But I do ask just for like a brief hello because I feel like that's something I would do. So if I feel comfortable just with the brief hello, I feel like we should all be okay with just that brief hello on camera. And also, like, I don't know what you look like, what gender you are. It's hard to tell by your names because names could be either or. I don't know every single culture in the world, so it's hard for me to distinguish that. And people do treat people differently based on their gender. So if I'm treating you a certain way, I want to just make sure I'm not using any biases or stereotypes or discrimination based on your gender. So that's where I'm coming from. Other than that, for this particular project, you're open to presenting however you want. You can even do it as like a online submission on the Google Doc. You don't have to do a presentation, but I want you to get the most out of this experience because it will be useful for you to present when you're going for a job interview. So it's kind of like preparing you for a job interview to present your work to a potential employer, if that makes sense. You can just take a breather. 1 second. So that's where I want us to kind of all land on March 31st, is have like a final presentation. And then if you can work with other people, work with other people. But as I mentioned to Sofia earlier today, if that's not a possibility or you don't feel confident in other people's abilities, you're all categorized under an individual contributor. So you're going to contribute your own work that you're showing that you're proud of. I feel like I'm having a lot of anxiety right now because I'm drinking coffee. That's also what coffee does to me. It's the only way I can stay awake right now. Any questions?
I was also a little bit confused about logging hours. So how would we do that for the weekly basis?
So the reason why I want to get you guys started in the habit of logging hours is because it's going to protect you in the workplace against discrimination. If someone wants to question your work or what you're working on, if you start this habit early, like I did, I started this habit when I worked in insurance. I was already logging my hours. That's why they were never allowed to fire me on the basis of questioning me what I was working on. My boss did try to do that to me once. He had no grounds to even start that conversation because I had all my hours logged. But on terms of a weekly basis, like you pick your own hours. So I just want you to show yourself how long you're working on something and being conscious of it. Because some people, like myself, if I get really focused on something, I'll work on it for hours. But you don't want to do that because you want to maintain your energy and like your well-being. So it's good to time block. Like on Mondays, I'm going to work on this project for 2 hours. So in the time log, you'll put like what time you started on Monday working on this and then what time you finished. And it's just something personal for you to get started in that habit, but also you can submit it to me if you want to show me how many hours you worked. And then if an employer in an interview wants to question you about this ripen experience, and let's say they're not taking it seriously because they think like it's just like a free for all, like I'm just giving you guys free money and I'm not taking this project seriously, which I am. But a lot of employers can see it through that lens too. You can show them, no, this is how many hours I worked on it. And then they'll switch their kind of lens of how they're looking at it and see it as like more of a serious thing. With other people are not showing up, I will be implementing consequences for them not showing up and not having attendance in these meetings. And there will be records placed with Ripen as a whole, because you're allowed to have 3 projects with Ripen that are paid. And if you're not attending meetings and you're not submitting work, they won't accept you for the next 2 projects. And they will put something on your file that shows that this person wasn't cooperative and wasn't present. Does that help answer the question?
Yes, thank you. I was just a little bit confused.
Yeah, I'm doing that as a voluntary thing, but I'm also setting you up for success. because some people don't know how to do the time logs, and I'm giving you my template that I started when I was working at the startup, and then I also had one when I was working at the cooperators. Any other questions?
Wait, I just had one question.
Mm-hmm.
So like the final like project or I mean the final presentation, like all the final stuff, like it's individual as well, right? It's not like a group thing. Okay.
Now, I think it's probably going to work best in this scenario because we're missing 2 people. I saw that we have 4 contributors to this one, and they're not here today. Maybe the scheduling didn't mix with their school, which is fine. We're missing Noor and Satare. Noor is at Sheridan, and Satare is at Metropolitan University. I'll have to reach out to them individually, but yeah, just do it individually because it's been a real headache even just for me to schedule things. So just do it individually. Other than that, how's life? Are you guys doing okay at school? Is it stressful? Those programs sound really stressful.
A lot of midterms. That's about it.
When do midterms start and end? Because isn't it a March break or like spring break soon?
We had a break in February, reading week wise, so that was just a study. But I think this week and next week is last week's midterms, I believe. At least for me.
So it's a lot of studying right now, and it's probably difficult to get all that done.
Yeah, extremely. That's where time management comes in.
That's why I like time logging. I don't do it. I'm not like religious about time logging all the time. Like right now, I'm not really logging my hours, but when I was working, I was because it was like a form of protection for me. But yeah, it's hard to kind of keep track of how many hours you're studying, and I feel like I'd probably get stuck into like a rabbit hole and go into deeper topics that probably don't relate. So I have to be disciplined with myself. What about you, Medha? Are you also in midterms?
I like finished a majority of them like last week. Like all of mine were like almost back to back last week. And then I just have like one more like next week, but I'm out of the main part, I guess.
That's good. And like, I think I asked Meta this already when we did our one-on-one, but like, what do you want to be when you grow up, Adiba? Or like, where do you see yourself landing in the future?
I think I want to work in either biotechnology or cybersecurity. That's why I want to gain experience in both and decide.
Okay, that sounds awesome. When I went to the city of Mississauga, I think it was Idea Mississauga that was hosting this breakfast. It's like breaking the stereotypes or barriers for women specifically. One of the speakers was a cybersecurity specialist, and she was Iranian, and she was like the top salesperson in the company that she worked for. And then I don't remember what her position was in the end, but she did connect with me on LinkedIn. Um, she might have some information. I can probably share that contact with you, but I don't know what year are you in? Are you almost done?
I'm in my second year.
So how many years is the program for?
4 years, yes.
4. And Meta, what about you? You said you wanted to do the same, right?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys want, I can check my LinkedIn and see if I can share that contact with you. She might be helpful if you need to do like an interview. I know at Sheridan, when I did project manager, we had to interview someone in our current, like in the place where we wanted to land, or like something similar, just to kind of get an idea of what the workday looks like and see if we would even enjoy the job. So that could be, I don't know if it's something you guys are doing in your school classes or if that's like an assignment at all.
I do appreciate that. I have something similar for like this co-op class I'm required to take, but it's more so surface level, not really meeting with someone specifically.
Yeah, I found it was like a really useful kind of like coffee chat. I connected with someone in project management, and we kind of like built a nice connection there. And she offered me a job referral too, but I didn't end up taking it because it was insurance, and I don't want to go back into insurance myself. So, but it was like a nice way to kind of break the ice and figure out if it's a job that I would enjoy or like if you guys would enjoy. So it's nice that they include that. But I'll see what I can do if you want to do like a coffee chat with that lady. I forget what her name is. But that conference was useful because there was a lot of women leaders that were heads of companies. I forget. One was the head of a car manufacturing company. I think it was Toyota or Mazda or something. Um, that's all I have for today. I don't know how long we scheduled this for, but I just wanted to check in. And the purpose of the weekly scrums is in case you guys are not meeting as a team, like it's not being scheduled, this is kind of another place for you guys to land and check in with each other and with myself. Otherwise, you're free to do the research on your own time and at your own pace and however you see fit. If you're not meeting as a group outside of the weekly scrums, that's fine too. I just wanted to make sure we had some moments where we can all kind of come together in case you needed like extra motivation with your own work studies, you're feeling a bit down, like exams are not really helping your mental state. This is like another way for other people to challenge you, to push forward and like see where they're at so you can kind of balance out where you're at and see if you need like extra push sort of thing. Because like Arisha has already landed a role, which I'm mentioning because it's like it helped me when I was in school to hear what other people were up to, so then I know if I should start looking for work or to kind of motivate me to kind of push further, even if I wasn't in a great mental state. So I just think it's useful to socialize, even professionally, and build connections because a lot of people that are joining this Ripen project have a really great resume already that they've built, and we can all work together to kind of build this brand of empowering women and showing our values together because I think we all joined this project for like similar reasons. We see the value in women in the workplace and their contributions as a whole to the society and the world. Any other questions, comments? No? All right, we were supposed to end at 3:30, so I went over by 3 minutes. I'll end it here. I hope you guys have a great day. I think I need to go for a walk. My anxiety is like
Thank you.
no
Thank you.
worries.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.